Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mac and Chuck Show with your hosts, Chuck Hill and Scott McKenzie. Welcome to the show.
What's with the pause?
The pause? I don't know. For a dramatic effect, I guess.
Now I'm like big head Scott taking up the whole screen.
Wow, you are kind of mongoloid looking there.
Oh. You know, it's real easy to go click.
Click? Well, yeah, you can. Then I'd have to carry the show on my own. I don't really know that I want to do that tonight.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, after all, it is us. We've got your host, Chuck, here.
I'm here too.
And Mac is here.
Was it Sunday, July 18th? Boy, July is just zooming along.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's just, wow. The year, actually. Of course, everybody always says that, you know. Everyone's always like, wow, man, the year just flew by. And every December, you're going to, man, where did the year go? I just can't believe it.
The older you get, the worse it gets.
I guess
you haven't figured that out? The quicker the year goes, the more.
You got another co-host there?
I got a dog barking at a cat.
So, yeah, no, I try not to get older. Even as the years fly by, I try to, sometimes I find myself regressing in age, to be honest with you. I'm sure if you ask some of the women I dated, they'd probably tell you the same thing. That I've regressed in the years. Shelby says time is a myth.
It is?
I guess. It is man-made. I know that. They say time is on my side, but, I don't know. Maybe not.
Thanks, Mick. So anyway, welcome everybody, all 5 of you so far, and those that may watch during the week. Like I said, it is July 18th. Congratulations, number 1, sir, on grandbaby number 2.
Thank you very much.
How's that going?
Oh, it's going great. I actually just went over and saw all my babies this afternoon, right before the show. So that was really nice to do. I enjoy spending time with my daughter and my granddaughter, and actually got
you have to do plural now, right?
Granddaughters, yes.
Yeah.
See, that's going to take a minute for me to get used to be honest with you.
It comes quick, I'm sure.
So, yeah. Shelby's got some little hearts. So, folks, tonight you're probably going to see me looking down at the laptop quite a bit. DJ Whiteout has opted not to be here tonight. So, Mac's going to play along with his camera a little bit. And then, so I'll be responding to some questions, and the ones that we don't respond to verbally, when maybe we can type or whatever. But
I have access to the keyboard here too, Stymie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess you do. So if you see something from Mac and Chuck pop up,
it could be either one.
It could be either one. That's right.
We could be talking code, telling each other where to go over the comments, and nobody would know the difference.
That's true.
Mr. Griffin, welcome.
Where to go. Hey, Mark, glad to have you on board. Thanks for checking in with us tonight. Appreciate it.
You said thanks for checking in with us.
Checking in. Well, it's funny because when we're doing the live stream at my church in the morning, I was telling Tabitha, the girl who I do this with, in the morning, so we need to make a checklist, just kind of things that we need to do. And she said she's going to do a checklist.
Yep, I knew it was coming.
That was actually her. And I was very proud of her. I was like, how witty of you.
If it would have been I was gonna say if it would have been any other name, and like,
well, it just doesn't work with a Scott list. Let's do a Scott list. Now, if it was a Chet list, you could play around with that a little bit.
Stop.
Oh, you love me.
So what we do? No, we don't. Oh, did that come out?
I think so.
It's on. Is this on? So what are we talking about today, Chief?
Well, I think tonight we are actually going to talk a little bit about traveling. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about how our week's been. How's a new job treating you?
That's going to take some time to get used to. A lot of things. Yeah. Some things I knew the system is somewhat mirrored based upon what I was used to. But the process in which they do it, I thought I had an idea on. I don't have an idea on. So it's going to take a bit, but I'll get there. I'm not concerned with it.
What I'm actually finding out is, like with my job, so the first couple of days are typically the best because you're learning something new, it's a new experience and everything like that, and you're learning small bits and pieces kind of as you move along, and like, oh man, I totally got this. Well, then as the days go by and then the weeks kind of go by a little bit and you get more information crammed into your brain, I just kind of seem to find myself, I'm like, holy crap, man, I've got to remember all of this stuff. And it's not just a matter of, remembering just a couple things. There's like a lot of stuff you got to remember.
Well, not only that, but by the time Friday rolls around, you're just like sitting there an hour before you leave, just looking around going, who am I?
Oh, no, right? Right. Yeah. And then, so I'm 3 weeks into my new gig and I'm really, really enjoying it. But let me tell you, man, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. All the information.
Well, it's not a little overwhelming. It's just change. You just got to get used to the change.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of going into a totally different field than what I was in before. I mean, I've been in support roles before, but everything is proprietary, right? Like everything that you're learning is company specific and things like that. So it's kind of what I'm experiencing now. And while I love it, it's scary on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, and I'm the kind of person that if things aren't going the way I expect them to go, for me, like if I'm not living up to my own expectations,
here we go.
I mean, you've seen this, firsthand. If I'm not living up to my own expectation, I really get frustrated by it, right?
Frustrated?
Yeah, we're going to go easy on me.
Okay.
They do say take it easy on yourself. Or who was it? Take it easy on me. So I just got to remember those words for myself, right? So sometimes you just got to do it. So, okay, I got to show something here. Now, this is really important. Everyone has to see this. Now, I did share this out on Facebook land earlier, but I just got to show it. Now, this right here has got to be a little bit of what heaven is like. So hold on one second. Look at that.
I can't see anything. I'm frozen.
Oh, well, you're really missing out because this is probably one of the most proudest moments that a pawpaw could have. You don't look frozen on my end, but can you see it yet?
Nope. I'm frozen.
I've got myself there, my baby girl's there. Emma's looking at me. I'm holding Caitlin, and it's just.
Is that the one that you posted?
It is the one that I posted.
Okay, well, I saw that then.
Yes. So I mean, I just got to put it out there because it's such a picture loaded with cuteness. I mean, take me out of the equation. I mean, there's enough cuteness there, but when you when you put the other two in there, it's literally a cuteness overload is all I can say.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right, Meatloaf?
That's right. That's right. So Mark says that he learned that at the cinema very quickly, and he says all to my picture. And Mark, I'm sure you did, especially because you were dealing with a lot of new tech there at the cinema. I'm sure that maybe you hadn't dealt with before, and I can imagine that would be a little overwhelming. So no, totally get it. So yeah. Anyway, so Mac, your week, you said that the new job, it's going pretty well. You said, right?
Yeah, it's not going bad so far. It's like I said, it's a change. It's a new role, whole new way of doing things. So it's just going to take some time to adjust and acclimate to. But
sure,
I have an idea, so that makes it a little easier to delve into it. So I have an idea of what the process is, what the process should be. It's just that me having to look at email on a consistent basis is new, and that's going to take a long time to get used to.
Oh yeah.
Because I never had to do that before, but now I have to. And I mean, these things come like wildfire.
Right. Well, let me give you. Are you guys using Outlook? Is that what you guys use?
Yes.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of unsolicited advice.
Folders, yes, I know.
Folders are key, and man, take the time, like set aside specific time to check your emails, because if you try to keep track of them all day long, you're going to burn all your time up in email and be completely unproductive. I learned that a long time ago.
Well, and it's not really that, but the email goes hand in hand with the job you're doing. So you kind of have to look at it on a consistent basis.
Gotcha.
And ones that come through, you have to say, okay, I don't need that. And that's going to be the biggest part that I'm going to have to get used to, is finding what emails pertain to us and what don't.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's I mean, they all get sent to the whole distribution center, but it's actually going to be, okay, does this pertain to me? Does this not pertain to me?
Yeah.
What folder does this go into? Which one does this go into?
Right.
So, and my whole StreamYard just went poof.
It went poof.
Yeah.
I can hear you. You kind of frozen.
Wait.
There you go.
It's me. I'm back again.
There you go. All right.
I can
So,
see me now.
Yeah, so let me throw this out there real quick for some of you who may do podcasting and streaming, and Darren, I know that sometimes you watch. So if you're watching, if you could throw up, just let us know what you're particularly using if you're doing any kind of live streaming or anything like that, because we're always open to other options that are out there, particularly ones that may be a little more cost effective, a little more robust. We do use StreamYard to do our show on a weekly basis. I am finding that there are some limitations to it. And I would like to actually go to something called OBS, which is an open source broadcasting system. But before I can do that, I mean, DJ Whiteout, nothing to you. We have to have someone who's consistently here all the time that can actually run that, because it's a completely separate board and there's just no way that we'd be able to run it. I couldn't run it by myself and do the show at the same time.
You only have two arms, right?
I only have two arms. But just had a really inappropriate joke come to mind, but I'll keep it to myself. But if you guys are using some kind of streaming platform that's really user friendly, kick it out there. We'd love to hear about it and just kind of see what you guys are using out there, if anything. And if we could just kind of get a sound off, we'd love to know who all's here tonight and who's visiting with us, and give you a shout out. We appreciate it. Mark,
yeah, 10, because that's what he was talking about.
5 5 5 5 1. Yes. Oh, but so yes.
You said one.
When you have a baby, Darren says, "Did someone say inappropriate?" Oh no, here he comes. Here he comes.
You opened Pandora's box, man. This is on you.
Oh, Darren, we got to have you guys. We got to have you back on the show again, especially with all of the cool stuff you've got going on. That's going on with the Darren Yates Show. If you guys aren't following the Darren Yates Show, check him out.
Do it.
It's really a good show. Yeah, really cool stuff going on over there. And
depends on what your definition of cool is.
Yeah, well, yeah, but let's tell you something. Darren's living a dream, and man, Darren, let me just give you a shout out from Chuck and from Mac. Man, we're proud of you for what you're doing out there. Keep going, man. It's awesome. Kim from
Good evening, Kim.
040. Hi, Kim. We're glad to have you on tonight. So one of the things I'm going to do, just something here real quick. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to post a link to the show here on the page, and we would love to have you guys click in. And if you're interested in being on the show, I can absolutely get you on the show. You can do audio or video. But tonight we are actually going to talk a little bit about travel. So we're going to talk. Darren says, "You guys inspire me, so thank you." No, Darren, thank you, man. It's kind of a round robin thing. It's like, we appreciate you, and we appreciate the advice you've given us, and we'll be there for you whenever you need it. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about travel, and just kind of not so much the boring stuff. You'll see. I don't know. Maybe some people aren't bored by travel, but we'd love to talk a little bit about where you've been, maybe where you'd like to go. And
I know where you're going.
It's a one-way trip, buddy.
I heard it's a little warm. You might need sunscreen.
Yeah, sunblock, huh? So we want to talk about that a little bit, and maybe some of your favorite places that you've been. We've talked about favorite concerts before and things like that, but let's talk about where your favorite vacation has been. Mac, have you ever been on an actual vacation?
Well, are you talking like in my life, or because
like family vacation or something?
Because when I was a kid, we used to always go on vacation every summer.
Okay.
Whether it was someplace local. I mean, oh, good grief! I think the furthest west we've been is Garden City, Kansas. My grandfather had an aunt that lived there.
Okay.
The farthest east we've been. See, I don't know if you can really call. Well, I've been to Disney World. I've been to Philadelphia, and all these are road trips, mind you.
Okay. Like, did you spend time there? Did you just go there for a couple of days and then came back? Or
no, we used to go like week and a half at a time, depending on the time frame, and it was always June or July. We drove in a 1978 Dodge van with a 17-foot tow behind us, all the way from here to Orlando or Kissimmee, Florida. That was fun.
That's a long trip, man.
It was a long trip, and it was. See, I'm trying to think where we stopped. It took us 3 days to get down there because my grandparents, they weren't in a hurry.
Sure.
So we stopped off.
Even us young grandparents.
Yeah. So we stopped in Nashville, stopped just before the Georgia-Florida border on the second night, and then made it down there to the third day. It's stuff like that I always enjoyed. So I try to do some, financially. I haven't been able to, other than visiting kids' family and stuff like that in Kansas and Indiana, things like that. But in 2 months, we are going to take them to Florida in September.
Nice.
For a week. So that's getting all planned out. But,
how many states have you been to? You've seen that meme that kind of goes around.
Yeah, I have.
What's your number there?
I'd have to really spout them out. For Jim, it's called California. Arizona.
Not Cali. We can't call it Cali.
See, you just did. You done screwed the pooch.
See, you can't do it that way. That's what I'm saying.
No, you said it.
It was an example of what not to do.
So Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Colorado, Missouri.
Are these states actually visited, or are these states you've just kind of traveled through?
No, these are states I've visited.
Okay.
Whether it be a layover in an airport, but that's still visiting because you're still walking out and visiting things.
That's true. I guess a stop counts, right?
Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky. Obviously, this lovely state we live in. Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Florida. I think that's about it.
Okay. Wow. So you've been in quite a few places then.
I've been everywhere, man. But we're actually driving down to Florida, so we'll be going through Alabama. So I'll check that one off the old list. So I know you've been to Missouri many times.
Oh yeah. I work over there, so that's a weekly trip, I guess.
You used to live in Seattle.
Yep, Washington State.
I don't know if you've ever been to Oregon.
I have been to Oregon. I've been to Portland, and let me tell you something. Portland keeps it weird, bro. They're proud of their weird, which is kind of cool because.
Now, did you ever make it to Canada when you lived in Seattle?
I did not, and what a crime that was. My wife at the time and she and I, we did talk about going to a Blues Canucks game when we were up there, but it was $300 for 2 seats, like US. Yeah, it was ridiculous, and that was crap. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So we opted not to take that trip, and the entire time I lived up there, we never went. It's like when I lived in San Antonio for some stupid reason, I never went to Mexico, and now you need a passport to get anywhere, to either border. So and that's something I don't currently have. So, it's something I'll definitely have to rectify. Darren asks, has anyone else been into Key West? Perfect place to get baked and ride a Jim Morrison cruiser bike Jim Morrison cruiser bike half naked. All right, Darren, I saw some of the videos, man.
You do you, man.
Hey, he's got a story. I think he's the only one that may have been ever kicked out of I think it was an adult toy shop. So yeah, the adventure continues.
Well, now don't you have to have a real ID to actually get on a plane now?
I think
that's my understanding.
I think they extended that to October. I'm not sure. Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. They're really making it more difficult to travel within the continental United States than I really think that it needs to be. And I don't.
That's why I drive.
So Sandy went to St. Croix in May, which was awesome. And Shelby says, "Oh heck yeah!" I think that may be the
Key West reference. Maybe
that's what I was thinking. That may be a Key West reference. But yeah, it's like this. Even this trip in California, in October, I'm really looking forward to going. But So here's something that when you talk about travel, you have to talk about COVID. You just have to.
You're hesitating. What's the deal, Giulio?
The hesitation is that California has gone under, and I don't know if it's statewide or not. What I've heard
6
Pacific
counties. So
Gun
far.
Radio was LA County.
No, there's 6 counties now.
Is it 6 counties? So, I mean, I've got a feeling that travel is going to become, more and more of a challenge as we move forward, which that's not something I'm really looking forward to. Is, like wearing a mask is fine. That's not a huge deal. I just don't want to spend my vacation wearing a mask the entire time, especially since I have actually been vaccinated. And, since I've been vaccinated, I don't know. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about that. But, not to transition the show tonight to that. But, as far as like places that I've been before, someplace I've always wanted to be was Washington, D.C. I've always wanted to go to Washington, D.C. Naturally, of course, I've been to Missouri, been to Branson a couple times. It's kind of cool down there. I think Kim said earlier she had been to Branson. That was one of the places that she liked. A lot of people in the area. Branson, it's what, a 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive from here, maybe 4.5, depending on where you leave from.
Depends on who's driving.
Yeah, no kidding. So Branson was fun. It was, I went down there both, years ago, when my second wife and I were dating, we went down there for kind of a romantic weekend. That was kind of nice.
You stud.
And then, we'd gone down there with her family, which was not really a romantic weekend, or her parents.
Hey man, you got to make it what you can make it. All right.
We still had fun though. It was 2 different experiences, which was nice about Branson is that it offered both a family friendly experience, like water slides, museums, attractions.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah. And then, it also offered something as far as the romantic side of things went. If you wanted to get away for a romantic weekend, leave on a Friday night, come back on a Sunday evening.
Hotel rooms.
It was cool.
Toy stores.
The toy stores were in Key West.
Oh.
But, so Washington State was really cool. It's very beautiful out there. Oh my gosh, is it so pretty? But
it's only pretty 3 months out of the year, right? The rest are like dreary and rainy.
Right. And that's the thing too. Like, does it rain out there all the time? Pretty much. Yes. For about 9 months out of the year, it rains, but I'm going to let a secret out of the bag here, and the Washingtonians may come after me about this, but it's not like a torrential downpour all the time. It's literally
like a mist.
Yeah. It's an annoying mist that if you live there, you get used to it. You can always tell the tourist by the umbrellas. Sometimes, you're pretty much in a mountain bowl there, for lack of a better term. There are mountains pretty much surrounding that whole area. And so the air doesn't move. So it rains a lot, right? And water goes up, water comes down. It's just this vicious cycle. But it's really not that as bad as a lot of people think it is. I think the Cascadia Mountains, I think, is the range that separates Eastern Washington and Western Washington. It's really cool. Went camping down to base of the Cascadia Mountain.
Cascades.
Those mountains, Cascades. Yeah, went camping down there. And I'm not a big camping guy, but I'm going to tell you, when I was down there, there's a couple places. One place is called Lake Diablo that you go while you're on the way there. It's when you're heading from Western Washington to Eastern Washington, you'll go through Leavenworth, which is a really cool little German town. And then you'll go through Lake Diablo, it's got the bluest water, like kind of a turquoise almost water that I've ever witnessed firsthand. And then when you get into the base of the mountains, this little bitty town called Twisp, right? It's about as small as it sounds, right? And it's just a small town. You can get supplies there. They got a couple of attractions and nothing really huge. But the campground. So you remember when you're a kid, like in grade school, and you see the Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent forest fires commercials. And you just see these awesome trees and this awesome water and this awesome, beautiful, camping areas. It's just like that. It is so, so pretty out there. I remember both times that we had been camping down there, we literally camped right next to like rushing water, and you went to sleep at night listening to the water rushing around. Oh
You had to get up and go to the bathroom a lot, didn't you?
Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Calm down now. You're raising your blood pressure. Let's take it easy a minute.
Been to Phoenix a couple times. That was kind of cool. A little different. It was still hot, but different. Lived in San Antonio for a little bit, so I visited there. Now that's another cool place also. Lived down there in the mid 90s, and then went to visit down there a couple of years back to go on a product shoot for one of my clients. And that was really cool because if you get a chance, go down to the Riverwalk down there.
I heard that's amazing.
Yeah, it really, really is. They take great pride in what they've got going on down there. The Alamo, cool, but I was a little underwhelmed by it, to be honest with you.
Does it have a basement?
I don't recall a basement.
Thanks, Pee-wee.
I do. I do remember walking into it and thinking, wow, this is nowhere near as big as I had thought it was going to be.
No, it was just a little mission.
Yeah. But it's beautiful, though. Vanessa says, no way camping. No. Is it the bugs, Vanessa? Is that what gets you? Or is it just the
or the lack of modern amenities?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not a big bug guy myself. So
you don't say.
Dude, here in the Midwest, these mosquitoes, oh my.
My leg looks like a connect the dots page when I'm out there too long.
Dude, it's so funny. I had a guy come by here the other day, come by the house. He's like, so my bug guy is going to be here later on tonight, and he's taking care of about 10 more people in the area. Like, not even interested, dude. No one is going to do anything about the mosquitoes in this area. So, yeah. So Vanessa says, yes, the bugs. And, she good point, Vanessa. She says, when mosquitoes look like they can take over the world, that's going to be a hard pass. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that. I am not a mosquito fan at all. So
how about June bugs? What do you think about June bugs?
I don't have a problem with June bugs, to be honest with you. That doesn't really bother me that much. Now, when they start, dive bombing my head,
bouncing off your cranium.
Yeah, that I got a slight problem with. But the June bugs, as long as when I was growing up and I was a kid, I used to love like finding their shells. That was cool.
Oh, that's great.
No. Shelby says June bugs are sent from the devil. I think we have a couple other viewers that might agree with that sentiment, Shelby. Yep. So and she has just kicked in on it. Vanessa says that her 5-year-old ends up in the ER with allergic reactions to mosquitoes. That's terrible. Wow.
That's really allergic.
Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry to hear that. And then Jenny, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here on the show. And she hates them. And she says they freaking fly into her hair. Why? Why? That's one of those questions that we need to ask God when we stand before him. And we're like, okay, out of everything in the world, Lord, I mean, I have a lot of questions, but why mosquitoes? And
no. Fleas.
Why bugs?
Fleas.
Yeah, fleas. Really?
Worthless.
I got to know what purpose, fleas serve, and
then you have to ask him what he was smoking when he created the platypus. I'm just saying. The old George Carlin line.
Right.
Or was that Robin Williams?
I think it was, I think it may have been George Carlin.
Okay.
Well, the platypus being, no, I think it was Robin Williams saying that God definitely has a sense of humor. Just take a look at the platypus.
Right.
So those things are mean from what I understand.
Are they really?
That's what I've heard. And that was recent. So it's funny you bring that up.
Well, if they're that mean, just ask Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz?
You never watch...
You may be talking something that I probably...
You never watched the Disney cartoon, which name escapes me right now, with Perry the Platypus?
I don't think I have. I'm sure that Shelby could probably kick in with this one.
I don't know. I'm frozen up again.
Yeah, so Shelby could probably kick in with it. I'm not sure of Dr. Doofenshmirtz or
Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz. Phineas and Ferb is what Shelby.
Yes, thank you. Jeez.
So, she used to want, or however you spell his name. So no, I never heard of him before.
Oh, it's a wonderful cartoon. Yeah, the one I couldn't remember the name of.
Yeah, my kids used to Shelby says I'm a geezer. She's either talking to me or
Ooh,
talking to me.
ruthless.
And since I'm older than you by 6 months, she's probably talking to me being the geezer.
She is.
So Lisa's got it here. Phineas and Ferb.
No, actually, it was FERB.
Oh, Lisa, he just called you out on that.
I'm not calling anybody. I'm just saying.
So Shelby says Scott too. So apparently we're both geezers, but that's okay. I'll embrace my geezer.
Chris chimes in with ticks are the worst.
Yes. Oh man, talk about another worthless insect,
Worthless.
dude.
What is the actual worth of a mosquito and a flea and a tick? What is the purpose?
I don't know, but I know it costs a lot of money to get rid of them.
That must be their purpose.
Vanessa says her son calls her prehistoric.
Ooh, that's worse than geezer.
I'm telling you. Of course, I can honestly tell you my kids have called me worse than that to my face. So, geezer or prehistoric. But,
Okay, so we're getting off track here.
That's okay. Sometimes it's worth it.
Anybody out there in internet in the interwebs? Where have you been? Where's your favorite place to go? Where's your here? I'll even do this. Where's your go-to place? If you want to talk about traveling and camping and all that, every October I take a trip to Pierre Marquette and sit in the highest lookout point and just that's my decompress time. That's my me time. That's right when the colors are at their peak is when I want to go. Yeah.
Now I got to get out there this year. I've got a wedding I'm shooting next year out there. It's actually an late spring, early summer wedding. But I've always wanted to go out there and just haven't done it in the fall because I can imagine that the colors out there are just absolutely beautiful. When did you say you typically go out there?
Right. I'll look on the maps and see when the peak of the fall foliage colors are, and then I'll head out there.
Gotcha. Okay. So Vanessa says Sunset Drive on the Grafton River Road. She says it's gorgeous. And I tell you what, that whole drive is it's a beautiful drive right there along the.
Have you ever taken that drive in the fall?
I have not actually.
Well worth it.
Yeah. Now
I'm sure if you take your camera with you, you'll catch some amazing pictures. I really do.
I shot a wedding out in Brussels in August.
Not quite.
Yeah. Maybe just need to wait a little bit longer to get out there. Jenny here, she says, Sarasota or Manasota Key, Florida, so beautiful. Says that's their go-to place to travel. Siesta Key Beach, apparently #1 beach in America.
Interesting.
So, Jenny, I think you guys just recently came back from Florida, didn't you? And you guys had a great time out there. And at least that's what the pictures look like. Look like you guys had a wonderful time. I've been to Florida. I've been to Daytona Beach, and I've been to West Palm Springs, and both gorgeous places to be. Florida, probably wouldn't want to live there. Nice place to visit, I think, but one of my dream places to go is up in Maine. I'd love to be in Maine in the fall. And honestly,
anywhere in New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, anywhere. I've seen pictures of Vermont in the fall. Oh my God.
Yeah. One of my bucket list items is to fly as far north as I can and then just drive in the fall, take a week and just drive all the way down the East Coast. And then, I'm at some point in Florida, maybe spend a day or two on the beach and then fly back. I think that would be really awesome to do in the fall. That way the water's still not too cold that you can't get in there, at least enjoy it or whatever.
Well, I heard in September, which is still too early, but it's still 80-degree water temperature.
Yeah.
So probably not too, we're going the last week of September. So I heard it's still 80 degrees, 80-degree water temperature. So probably October, I wouldn't think it'd be too much worse than that.
Yeah. I'm thinking probably late September.
Mm-hmm.
Is probably when I would like to head out in that area. And who knows, at some point in my life, that's going to happen. Probably, I would like to say sooner than later, but I would hopefully within the next 3 to 4 years. That would be something I'd love to do.
You're going to save up a month's worth of vacation?
I got to do something. Starting a new job, they don't just roll that vacation out.
No, they don't.
So that So, but the new company I'm working for was very understanding about some stuff I already had scheduled. So,
Good.
yeah, kind of nice. Shelby says snow, 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 and that is a White Christmas reference for those of you who may not know.
Wasn't it a Vermont Lodge too?
It was, yes. So yeah, I wouldn't mind going out to Vermont at some point. That would be cool. Heading up there, and then I think so. I've been up to the Dakotas.
Mhm.
I've been up there, kind of South Dakota, not North Dakota,
Right.
which was cool. I've been to Minneapolis in the wintertime, and it was cold.
Cold. I think that
Went
might be an
to-
understatement.
Yeah, I did get to go to Mall of America while I was up there, and I think I saw Kim post that earlier.
Mhm.
She had gone to Mall of America, which was not what I expected. Have you ever been up there?
I have not.
So I'd always heard that they had this amusement park on the inside, right?
Mhm.
And so coming from the Midwest, what do we think of when we think of amusement parks?
Enormous.
Right. We think Six Flags, right?
Right.
Not what you get inside Mall of America.
Probably not.
It was decent size, but it was kind of cool, to see an amusement park inside. It just wasn't as big as I had thought it would be. Some cool places. Minnesota was cool.
Well, cool or cold?
Yes. So I did the Twin Cities thing. St. Paul and Minneapolis up there both, and Brooklyn Center in the news not too long ago for all the riots and that. That was an interesting place to visit. Chris says Myrtle Beach is nice. Chris, I want to tell you thank you for coming on to the show. Appreciate that. We appreciate you guys always coming on, and if you're checking in for the first time or coming in, let us know. We appreciate it. But thanks for participating, Chris.
I'm going to put this up. I don't know if you agree with this or not, or if you've experienced this.
Okay. So Vanessa says a really gorgeous drive is around sunset or sunrise in the Boot Heel of Missouri. You can see the sun illuminating the pathways that cut out for the electric service lines many decades ago. I would agree with that. Absolutely. Especially so.
Oh, she's talking about cutting paths in the trees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can see like the different arrays of light, that come through. I mean, it's very beautiful. So I did spend a decent amount of time in like Sykeston, Malden, Poplar Bluff, those areas growing up. And there's one particular place down, and I want to say it's on J Highway. I'm not sure. But Riddle Hill is the name of this hill, right? It's got a bunch of stories that go with it. But no, the sunsets there and the sunrises are absolutely beautiful. Vanessa, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you 100% on that. Kim says the ride Fly Across America, best ride ever. Okay, I don't remember. Like, I don't think I ever went on the rides while I was there. It was a sales meeting they had gone there for, and but I visited after the sales meeting, so I'm kind of in between end of the sales meeting and catching a plane. So I had to go there and get souvenirs, though, right? So I did get some Minnesota Wild hockey stuff, of course. I had to do that. Next time I go out there, which I do plan to go out there again sometime, I have to check that out. Lisa, I'm sure, could tell us quite a few stories about Minnesota.
Are you better? You good?
I'm good. It's all good, baby.
I see. I didn't need you to go that far.
So we got Vanessa says that. So folks, just kind of a reminder again, depending on where you're catching us from, sometimes you'll see these comments, sometimes you won't, which is why we read them every once in a while. Vanessa says, my grandfather worked for the Forestry Service at age 14. That was a huge deal when they came through and put those lines in. It changed those people's lives. I can imagine it did. Those towns, they're small towns anyway, small farming towns.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can imagine that was a huge life adjustment. What about you? Small towns? Any small towns you've ever visited that you've kind of you've been to that you enjoyed?
I'm sure I have, but none specifically come to mind. For for some weird reason, we actually went to a campground in Haiti or Haiti, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Need to make sure I put the emphasis on the right syllable. I still don't know why. You know, that was just my grandfather kind of shut his eyes and went, okay, that looks good. You know, we went to Tennessee from there, you know, places like that. But, I mean, that was a really small town. Once you get in those boot heel towns, which I'm sure you know, they're very, very small.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris says Galena, Illinois is a cool small town. Now, have you been to Metropolis, Illinois?
I have not.
So I've been through there.
That's on the list.
Yeah, kind of a cool little town. A lot of Superman stuff, of course.
Mhm.
You know, big Superman statue there. I've been through Metropolis, but I've never like spent a lot of time there. But you know, I have heard about Galena before being kind of a pretty little town.
Mhm.
You know, some of those Mayberry towns are nice to visit, not so much nice to live in.
Just don't get pulled over by the cops. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Barney. You know, they're nice to visit, but not really so much to live in. I've never been a big small town live-in guy anyway. I mean, granted, it's probably we got roughly just under 40,000 people here, so it's got the small town feel, but it's not really a small town, you know.
Well, here's what I would love to do. I'd love to live out in the country, but still not live far enough away from the modern necessities, I guess is the best way to describe it.
You mean like Walmart?
Grocery stores that aren't going to charge you an arm and a leg because they're the only one there.
Right.
I mean, I get why they do it, but you know, if I have I'd love to have just a big plot of land with where your neighbors weren't right on top of you.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, that would be nice. I mean, the place that my mom and stepdad lived at down in Malden, they had a mobile home that was on a thing. I want to say it was an acre of land,
Mhm.
and they were behind another property. But I mean, it was still kind of cool. First of all, being out in the country, if you're a photographer, it's like a photographer's wet dream out there. I'm sorry, but it just really is, because some of the pictures that you can
Take
get,
it easy, buddy.
some of the pictures you can get of the night sky are just absolutely amazing when you're not dealing with a lot of light pollution.
Right.
So a lot of awesome things that can occur out there in the country. And you're absolutely right about not being stacked right on top of each other.
Right. There's something to be said for having some space.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So small towns, I think Leavenworth was probably one of the coolest small towns that I'd visited there in Washington. Trying to think. Like I lived in a little town called Bernie, Missouri, and dude, the only difference between that and Mayberry RFD was the city sign. That was it, man.
But you know, there's a lot to be said for places like that. I mean, I know it may be small, but there's something to be said on the small town feel with everybody. You know, sitting on the old adage about sitting on your front porch talking to everybody. You know,
right.
You know, there's something, you know, the Americana feel, I guess, is what it is. There's something to be said for that. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing in these communities these days.
I agree with you. I think that, and oddly enough, I think that a lot of us got a taste of that when COVID first hit,
Mhm.
because people were out and about, walking up and down the streets, you know, and they were saying hi to their neighbors. I remember plenty of times that, you know, me and the neighbor, and we had people, you know, me, Lisa, the neighbor, were on the front porch, and people walked by, and we'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, just talking a little bit more, and it definitely did become more of that feel.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think a lot of that is lost in the big cities. I think that, you know, if we kind of get to know our neighbors a little better, that some of that can be recaptured.
Sure.
You know, some of that feel. Are you familiar with a lot of your neighbors where you live at, or?
Couple, you know, because I've been here so long. You know, my next door neighbor, you know, if you're looking out the front door to the left, I talk to him whenever he's out. He lives right on the corner. Lady across the street, down at the end of the block, you know, just from being here so long, you know, you see people, you know, there's some people that kind of look at you and wouldn't want to think twice. But
Yeah.
but that's anywhere really. You just can't say that's here.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I know my neighbor Chuck.
No, you don't know him.
Hey, I know Chuck Norris. That's no lie. I know Chuck Norris. But I mean, I know my neighbor Chuck. I know Tim and Michelle next door to us. I mean, they're really great people. I've talked with the guy across the street a couple of times. I know some people in the neighborhood, so to speak. Like a good friend of ours growing up lives 2 blocks over, like quite literally 2 blocks and 2 houses over. And then the church I go to is sort of in the neighborhood I live in. It's like 4 blocks away from me.
Are you going to start busting out in Sesame Street songs?
No.
Okay.
No.
It just had that feel that it was coming anytime soon.
Yeah,
so I wanted to get that. Okay.
Nope, nothing like that. But I will give a quick plug for the church I go to, C3GC Celebration Community Church here in Granite City. We actually have our vacation Bible school going on this week. So if you guys are looking to get your young ones some solid teaching about God, check them out this week. You can check them out on Facebook. It's Celebration Community Church with C3GC. I believe Vacation Bible School this week is 2 days. I want to say it's Friday and Saturday. So definitely check that out. Some great people are involved in that. And if you're looking for a good neighborhood church to go to, check us out. I mean, we take a no nonsense approach to worship. So
that goes in with the traveling aspect too. Like you're traveling from home to church. So I guess that fits in. You're allowed.
Yeah. Hey, so I can throw that in there. Right. But I mean, I have traveled, for church before in the past. But I've never been on a mission trip though. Speaking of traveling, never been on mission trips. Now you were brought up Catholic, correct?
I don't even know what that is.
So was there a lot of talk about mission trips and traveling as you were growing up, or none of it, huh?
Nope.
Okay,
that's why I said I have no idea what a mission trip is.
Really? Like, are you being serious right now, or?
I have no idea.
Okay, I thought
a mission trip is.
I guess I thought that was a big thing with Catholics, was going on mission trips and things like that.
Well, if it is, it wasn't my church. I'll tell you that.
So I have wanted to go on mission trips before. Don't know where I would go. I've kind of taken the thought though that we have a lot of work to do here in our country. Also, I don't feel led by God to go to other countries for missions.
Kind of like
that
Rambo.
may change, but
kind of like Rambo when they send the church people to Thailand.
Let's
see. What you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. So Kim says here, surf cities established in the 50s are best. San Clemente, Encinitas, Huntington Beach. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully visiting some of those cities when we're down there.
Are you going to sing Jan and Dean tunes?
No, I will spare the peoples the Jan and Dean tunes. Lisa, she says that her friends would go on mission trips and took their kids. Such would have been an amazing experience, especially a reality check on how good we have it and things that matter. And Lisa, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually, to see the way other countries live and how good we really do have it here. So travel could be not just a leisure experience, but also an educational experience for sure. Probably, Kim. Probably. Kim says yes. Memphis is her favorite close getaway.
I'd say
call that close.
I say she goes once a month to Memphis.
I'm not sure how often they go, but I mean,
it seems pretty regular.
Yeah, but that's cool that they can do that. I mean, I think that's awesome that they can just.
That's literally a 5-hour drive. It's not bad.
Yeah. And then she says, "I'll be too busy barfing from her driving to sing." That's no lie there. I got a feeling that when we head out there, we're probably gonna be fighting over the driver's seat. And then Kim also chimes in and says South Dakota is her new fave. Kim, we like it when you go to South Dakota also. So
especially for Deadwood.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that the name of the place, Deadwood?
Yes.
Yeah, great whiskey, man. Ah, so good.
Ask Lisa about the cinnamon.
Kev says I can't handle the California
No,
traffic.
you couldn't. I can tell you that right now, and I've never seen you drive there. I know she's right, and I don't have to even debate that.
I would challenge that because the Pacific Northwest traffic sucks too. So it's probably not as challenging as the LA traffic is or the California traffic, but I would argue it. I would probably lose that argument, but
I think
I
so.
would argue it.
No, you'd argue it just because.
Kim says it's time for another whiskey weekend. Speaking of arguing just because, so you know I've been watching like Mad Men and My Name is Earl, right?
I know. I saw you watch My Name is Earl.
Yeah. So last night, one of the two main characters, Jason Lee's character and Ethan Suplee's character, Randy, he was talking about he thinks he had made a good debater, and obviously Earl's like, no, I don't think you would. Like, no, I would. He's like, we got to argue back and forth. No, I would. No, I don't think you would. No, I would. And it was like went on like that for like 2 or 3 minutes. Anyway, it was just kind of funny. It's a great show if you guys haven't seen it. That would be another show I think that we could do in the future. Be favorite TV shows.
Did we do that one already?
Yeah, we can do it again. Why not?
Waco, Texas. That would be kind of cool to see.
Now, see, I would like to go there. I've driven through Waco, but I've never stopped. Kim says it would be a haunting experience.
I can imagine all those people. It's just a big swath of land now.
Yeah, they totally leveled and raised that out, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Filled it in too, except for the. If I'm not mistaken, there's still. You can still see the top of the bus.
Really?
That's I don't know if it's still there or not. And the pool, the big concrete slab that's there.
Now, did you watch that movie? It was either a movie or a miniseries with Taylor Kitsch in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. Whew.
Yeah, that was some crazy stuff.
Kim says it's still there.
So, she says that Boston on the 4th of July, hot as hell, but so neat.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I would imagine that any place on the East Coast around the 4th of July would be just amazing to go to. Can you imagine DC around that time?
No, I wouldn't want to go there.
No? I think
not during the 4th of July. I'd rather go to like Boston or Philadelphia, someplace like that.
I'd like to see fireworks on the mall. I think that would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Right over Independence Hall, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty awesome to see at least once.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go to DC just simply for the history of it all. I will say that ex-wife number 2, she had been there a couple times.
Ex-wife number 2.
Hey man, I got to start labeling them. There's only been 2, but sometimes when you're in the dating world and you're trying to, explain things, people are like, now it's just number 1, it's just number 2, and it's like, well, you just got to kind of, number 1 and number 2. So it's the easiest way to do it.
Just use Kim's names.
Yeah. Well, Kim really only has a name for number 2, and that's Buzzard. So,
Lisa brings up a great point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. Seeing the cherry blossoms. Kim says DC was boring, but Camden Yards was worth the trip out there.
That's in case you didn't know, that's the where the Orioles play.
Okay, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
You with the Expos hat on. Well, I can't really say much because I got a Cardinals hat on, but
Why are you busting my chops, Hill?
Well, we are talking about Americana, and you've got a Canadian hat on.
Hey, it's still Americana because it's America's pastime, and this is no longer a team that exists.
You know what? It's funny. So I'm going to change the subject here for a minute.
Of course you are.
It's like we have America's pastime, baseball, with Canadian teams, and then there are other teams across, other continents and countries. But hockey is primarily a Canadian sport. Now, a lot of people argue that, in the northern provinces or whatever is kind of, it originated from like Native American sports and things like that. But for it to primarily be a Canadian sport, we have an awful lot of hockey like pro teams. We have more pro teams here in the States than they do in Canada. And I've always found that interesting. Maybe another show. Why are you looking at me like that?
You and your tangents. Anyway, let's get back to it. Chris, yes, we did speak about the Riverwalk in San Antonio earlier when we were talking about that. Kim says hockey is trash. Why am I not surprised that Lisa would say this?
The Exorcist Stairs in Georgetown.
I heard it's really, really creepy.
I saw a meme the other day that was really funny. It says, I'm tired of seeing these ghost stories about young Victorian girls in like parasols and dresses. Like we're at the point now where we need to be.
Yes, I sent that, clown.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well, the viewers didn't see it, so I'm sharing with them.
Well, you said someone.
You're not the only part of this show, you know.
Hey, watch your mouth. No, we'd rather see people playing Nintendo, throwing controllers.
Right. Oh, man. Good stuff. So hockey is trash. Yeah. As far as your hockey is trash comment goes, Kim. Yeah. So what about?
But we got a couple minutes here. Let's talk about good haunted places if we want to talk about traveling. There's this place in
local in Alton.
Well, you can, but there's this what's that place in Tennessee?
Gatlinburg?
No, Lisa, help me out. It's that haunted place in Tennessee.
Salem? Salem would be kind of cool place to go to.
Right. Keep talking. I'm looking.
So, yeah, I think that, Salem would be cool to go see some of the history there. I think that would be really awesome. I would love to go. Yeah, I mentioned Gatlinburg earlier. My mom and my grandpa went to Gatlinburg when we were younger, and there's a really cool picture of them there. Kim says Alcatraz was cool. I would love to go visit Alcatraz.
Right.
She says it's haunted for show, not just haunted for show. For shizzle.
Oh, don't.
So I didn't finish the rest of it. But, I think Alcatraz would be awesome. I think some of these old sanitariums would be really cool to visit also.
Oh, yeah.
There was one up near St. Joseph, Missouri. It wasn't in St. Joe, I believe, but took a trip to one of those. And you want to talk about some crazy stuff and just the way that they used to treat mentally ill patients and some of the that stuff will haunt you. And that was fact. That wasn't like something that someone thought of in a book or anything like that. That was some crazy stuff.
Right.
So I would love to go visit some sanitariums. State Penitentiary, Missouri. Kim says she thinks it's haunted. I think that would be cool. And that's actually 2 hours from here, Kim.
What's that?
The Missouri State Penitentiary. I want to say it's in Jefferson City or in between Jefferson City and Columbia or something like that.
It's about 2 hours.
But yeah, you can get, as a matter of fact, I think they call it haunted tours of that. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool to put together just maybe kind of a weekend trip or maybe just a week-long trip to go do something like that. Kim says,
I'm still looking here.
The graveyard that Mother Goose is buried in Boston. Cool graveyard.
You're kidding me.
So here's some weird things. And some of my paranormal friends can probably talk about this and confirm this a little bit. But I'll tell you a quick spooky story that's going to kind of give you goosebumps. When I was younger, my mom and my actual dad, my mom and my dad, when they were still married, went to a graveyard with some other people, and they did what they called recording graves. Have you heard of this at all?
Somewhat. I have.
It's freaking crazy. All right. So they were out there and they put tape recorders and that around this stuff. And there were times that you could actually hear stuff on the recording. Like no one else was around or anything like that. And the one thing I remember that they did was this recording that my mom had played back. And it was this creepy voice. You couldn't really determine if it was male or female, but it said, "Watch out, Nancy," or "Watch it dance," or something along those lines. And it was just super, super creepy, man. And just to hear it, dude, I get goosebumps right now, just kind of like remembering this. It was pretty crazy stuff. And we've done shows on paranormal stuff before, but my mom has shared some interesting stories of when she was growing up. We'll have to have her on again sometime.
It's not in Tennessee. It's in Kentucky by Louisville. It's called the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Okay.
That's supposed to be like really, 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 really haunted.
Yeah, I can imagine that those places are just full of evil crap going on.
Well, even the city hospital in St. Louis, before they remodeled it, made it apartments. So would you want to live in there?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Well, that movie, The Exorcist, took place in St. Louis at the Alexian Brothers Hospital.
Right, which is no longer there. I got bored and did some research, and they said
maybe there's a house across.
I think it was a wing of it. There you go.
New York City subway. That seems like it'd be an adventure as opposed to a horror story, but you never know.
They said the parking lot across from where the hospital was, they paved it over the parking lot, and supposedly that location, every time they fix it, the pavement always cracks there.
Really?
Yeah. So I actually read that. I'm like, ooh.
So we'll have to have. Let's get a couple paranormal, couple paranormal experts on here some night for Ask the Experts. Just kind of get some stories, and we'll take a look at it from both a religious viewpoint and a secular viewpoint. Just kind of, I think it'd be interesting to hear the different point of view on something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, even if it's not from a religious point of view, from that stuff, I mean, just to talk about it in general is interesting.
Yeah.
Experiences. You don't have to say, what do you believe this is? What do you believe this is? Just talk about the experience and talk about haunted places that you've been to, experiences that you personally have had. So I think that would be an interesting show.
Right. Lisa, you cracked me up. Must be haunting all St. Louis highways because they all cracked for sure. So Chris says that would be a cool show.
Yeah, we got a second emotion there on that one.
All right. Well, it sounds like a show in progress here. So if you guys know someone that's kind of an expert in that field, let me know. I've got a couple people in mind. My brother's actually got quite a bit of experience with things like that. So maybe I could reach out to him and maybe, have him phone in on the show sometime, because he has some pretty crazy experiences that he has shared. So we could check that out. And then if, you guys have friends who have done things like that, or people who have worked in places that have been purportedly haunted. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, is McPike Mansion,
that's Alton.
Right. But that was supposed to be haunted also, right?
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah. And we kind of sort of know someone who's been doing some work up there. So maybe, we could just talk with him about maybe some experiences that he's had with that. So, but let us know. Kim says she's an expert at being scared of ghosts. Well, I don't want any creepy floaties around me either.
Creepy floaties.
Yeah, I don't want any floaties.
I think you can ascribe that to a couple of people you've dated in your lifetime.
Probably.
Creepy floaties.
So, all right. Well, we appreciate everybody being in here. Mac, you got anything else for tonight's show?
Nope.
You're good, huh?
Let's start the work week.
All right, let's get this going. We got a couple more comments we'll get to right here. Lisa says there are stories about our house. I've heard the stories. And Kim says that she loves him, though. She's got issues. I think we all got some issues there, especially when it comes to, the creepy floaties.
The creepy floaties.
So, all right, folks. Thank you. I can't see it. What's it say?
Here you go.
Creepy floating sounds like a good nickname. Okay,
that's awesome.
I leave all my girlfriend and ex-girlfriend nicknames up to you.
Well,
so
be prepared for that one to be thrown out.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you guys next Sunday.
Take it easy.